Hey folks, this is Kalani. We're going to be looking at the new achievements added under the boss tab in our achievements panel for Tequatl. Now obviously all of these are brand new and getting some of them can be a little bit awkward, so I'm just going to quickly go through them all. Basically to give you any hints, tips, any advice on how you can gather up all these achievements and get you some more achievement points. So first and foremost, Tequatl the Sunless. The meta event will award 50 achievement points, the title the Sunbringer, and requires you to complete all other achievements in this category. Now some of these are blatantly obvious and incredibly easy, so we'll start with the ones which I just described. Now, have a seat and pull the trigger is probably the easiest one you can do. Use a Hylek turret at the Tequatl battle site. Now basically literally all you need to do is hop in a turret. That's it. Doing that will get you the achievement. You don't even need to... The event doesn't even need to be active. That's how easy this one is. So, going back to the achievements. Now, Slaughter in the Swamp is to defeat Tequatl, so that's pretty obvious. You need to defeat Tequatl. Maybe easier said than done, but the achievement is no mystery. So, Burning Light is pretty much guaranteed if you get Slaughter in the Swamp. You basically need to fire the Mega Laser. Again, pretty straightforward. So from there it starts to get a little bit different. Now, the first one I want to talk about is Watch Your Step is actually relatively easy. Don't get caught in any Bloated Creeper explosions. Now I believe that you'll get credit for this if you have not been hit by a Bloated Creeper explosion throughout the fight and the fight completes to the point where you get a reward. So I'm not sure if that will count if you get it to 75%. It may do. Some of these do, which is a little strange, but we'll get to that in a little while. So don't get hit by any Bloated Creeper explosions. If you notice, the Bloated Creepers are the very, very large mobs, which are basically the bloated ones which explode upon contact. So you need to avoid those. Above the Waves is relatively simple. Basically throughout the fight he'll use a shockwave ability, that's Tequatl. So this shockwave ability sends out a wave. Now the wave is a little deceptive because the damage doesn't actually come from the peak of the wave, the damage comes from the very tip of the wave, so the very, very start of the wave. All you need to do is jump over 10 of these and you'll get your achievement. That was actually worth 10 points. Now things start to get a little interesting from there, so we'll go for Tail Flail. Dodge Tequatl's Tail Sweep. Now, I used my Warrior for this one, for Easy Vigor and the extra evade on the Whirlwind attack. Now, interestingly enough, I didn't actually get the achievement from dodging Tequatl's Tail Sweep. I got the achievement from being in the water. I got feared out to the water and got the achievement when he did a tail swipe. I just wasn't in range. So you can either happily dodge back and forth across his tail and hope he sweeps, you can watch for the animation and dodge it then, or you can kind of hang out in the water pretty close by and hope to get your achievement. So that's a relatively simple one to do. Now, I found it is rather interesting. So in phase 2, that's after Tequatl goes below 75% health, he'll start spawning little whirlpools everywhere. Now these whirlpools will drag you under into Watery Grave. This ability will throw you underneath the map here and you'll take damage over time as long as you're down here. To get the achievement you need to swim down, find the sunken treasure, do that by holding control, that makes it nice and easy. Find that, that's your achievement done, and then get out before you die. Note that any heals etc. are very valuable when going through this achievement. Now to kind of on the opposite side of that, you've got Quick on Your Feet, which is defeat Tequatl without getting hit by a vortex attack, which is basically the attack which will drag you under. So you can't do both of those in the same attempt, but you can kind of go back and do that. That's not too difficult. So that one, you have to go down and get the sunken treasure. The other, you have to defeat him without getting hit. Now the easiest way to do this actually is to be part of a turret defense group, because the further back you are, the whirlpools won't spawn, the vortexes don't spawn, they only spawn in the watery areas. So if you're in a turret defense group, this is pretty easy to get, or if you're in a turret yourself. So two very easy ways to get that achievement. Remember that Tequatl does have to go down, I believe. Once again, you only get credit for this after you get achievement credit for Tequatl. So once again, I'm not sure if that's below 75% or a full kill. Now, Moving on from that, power play, defend the eastern, northern, western vigil batteries and kill Tequatl during a single encounter. The easiest way I've found to do this, now bear in mind that you're going to have 3 phases for the mega laser, which means 3 phases of defending the batteries and the mega laser itself. The way I did this was literally to just do all of the batteries. So in the first instance of the defense, I went to the east. Then the next one I went to north, and the next one I went to west. So at 75% I went to defend eastern, at 50% I went to defend northern, and at 25% I went to defeat western. I think I said that right, eastern, northern, western, and then simply defeat Tequatl. That gave me that achievement pretty easily. Now I think the only ones we've missed... Yeah, the only one I've missed is Flawless Defense, I believe. I hope that's right. So, this is the only one that I currently don't have right now, and it's kind of awkward. Defeat Tequatl without allowing any of the Hylek turrets to be destroyed. Obviously that's pretty difficult, and that relies quite heavily on your defense groups. Now, I'll quickly show you what the turrets use. I can show them, cool. The box of repair hammers. Now, these are what you're going to try to use to repair the Hylek turrets if they do take any damage. Now, it may take kind of a coordinated effort to get this achievement, kind of saying in map chat, we're going to go for this. We're going to go for the defense of the turrets, which basically means that you throw a bit more forces into your defense and ensure that you've got a specific group to make sure the Hylek turrets don't die. So you've got people watching the Hylek turrets, and then you've got people running with the repair hammers. So, interestingly enough, and this is kind of why I left this one till last and wanted to explain the below 75%, right now I don't know if it's a bug, so I don't know if it's going to get changed, but you can actually get this achievement as long as no Hylek turrets are defeated, and you get some achievement credit for Tequatl. That means he has to go below 75%, so you get the 1 box. But if he goes below 75% and then kind of it times out, but Hylek turrets hadn't been destroyed, you still get the achievement. So I'm not entirely sure if that plays kind of partner with all the other ones that require a kill, inverted commas, but I don't know, maybe. Obviously you're not going to get Slaughter in the Swamp if you don't kill Tequatl. But I don't know if you can get, for example, if you don't get hit by any Bloated Creeper explosions and it goes below 75% and times out, so you get credit for 1 for the 75%, I don't know if you then get Watch Your Step, if you know what I mean. But right now that does work for Flawless Defense, which means it may work for the others, but either which way, it's actually quicker to defeat Tequatl, so there's no point in kind of waiting it out. And as servers start to, obviously, kill him with relative concurrency, then you should be able to pick up most of these pretty easily. But the only kind of strange ones are the Sunken Treasure, which you have to actively look for, and Tail Flail, which once again you have to actively try for. Quick on your feet isn't, well, basically if you do things perfectly you shouldn't get hit. Slaughter in the Swamp, kill it. Burning Light, fire Mega Laser relatively easily. Power Play is one that you do have to actively go for, obviously because you need to defend Eastern, Northern and Western in a single attempt. So it's not too bad though. It's not too bad. You can actually get that one by accident. But Above the Waves, again, if you play perfectly, that's a relatively easy one to get. Use a Hylek turret is, again, the easiest one to get. And then Flawless Defense, as I was saying, relies very heavily on your defense teams. So there's that. And some of these are relatively easy. I just thought I'd give you those hints and tips, those little pieces of advice to get yourself the title The Sunbringer, which is actually a pretty cool title. But that's me done rambling. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.